As a Drifting Podcast listeners, I'm Brian,
And I'm Monica.
and welcome to the Backspace Nomads, where we talk about our nerve for video games, movies, and all the dork in between. On today's cast, we're talking about PUBG dropping the Fortnite lawsuit, Google's future video game console, and what gaming companies you want to cover other games. It is July 1st, 2018. This is episode 64 of the podcast. Start the show. Monica, what's up? How you been?
I have been just dandy, Brian. How have
Dandy?
you been? Yes, just dandy.
I've been dandy too myself. It's been a dandy kind of week.
What a dandy. You've had a dandy week? I've had a dandy week. I am almost done with Mario Rabbids.
Ooh, closing in on it.
I am. I guess are you almost done with Fortnite?
We're closing in on the end game. I don't know. I mean, I've played over 300 hours, 10 hours a day. It's a deep game. It goes deep. There's a lot of content there.
Yeah, I get it. A lot of DLCs, but yeah, no, it's been great. I've had a good week. That's really the only game that I've actively been playing. So I'm excited that I'm actually going to close out a game. It's been it's been a hot second since I've actually finished a game to completion. I feel like a lot of games I've started up and then I'm like, no, poo, papa. And then I just like wave them away with my a swipe of my hand.
Are we talking about Ni no Kuni here?
We might be.
Okay.
Yeah. That makes me so sad. I was so
sad
excited
about it.
that game. I was so excited. I almost made it to the end, but I couldn't. Mario Rabbids is better. It's more entertaining for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I actually bought a new game on Steam that I had plans to play.
Oh wow, that's really riveting.
Like, I bought House Flipper because I like every middle-aged adult. I kind of watch HGTV when I got nothing else to watch, and I love house flipping shows. And now there's a video game about flipping houses.
What?
So I was pumped to play this game, and then there was a massive event in Fortnite that interrupted my house flipping time.
Oh no! What could bring you away from your new lucrative career as a house flipper?
Don't mock me.
I'm not. I'm very interested.
In Fortnite, there was a massive rocket launch, and I'm from Florida, so I love all kind of things that launch in the air. And so, in their persistent world, they had it was 1:30 on the East Coast. That you had to be in game to see it. It was a one-time event where a rocket took off. It's been in the game all season for the past couple of weeks. It took off. It had a engine separation. It was like one of the most incredible things I've seen in gaming in like a PvP type, because everyone stopped to watch it, right? I was next to the missile, next to like 10 people we were supposed to be killing each other. And instead we're just like watching it and like there's a popcorn emote that people are eating popcorn while they're watching it. Went into the air. Some craziness happened. There was mishaps. No one really knows what happened, but then the rocket started shooting around the map, and now there's a massive crack in the sky. It's just, I don't know. It took up.
It still exists. The crack in the sky from the rocket launching still exists.
Yes, it's a persistent crack in the sky. All these theories about like quantum mechanics and time warping, and that the rocket was actually using wormholes within the map to gain speed because it couldn't, it's just a missile. It wasn't an actual rocket to go to outer space. There's all this stuff and like what it means to the game. It's crazy. Like it was exciting. It was a moment because like the voice of someone is like, zero options optimal. Like you could hear it throughout the whole map. It was like this ominous tone. It was nuts.
Yeah.
So I've been running around the map trying to find these new spots where like, are there things different? And like there are things starting to disappear from the map with all this like glowing stuff around it. It's pretty crazy.
Okay.
So no house flipping because Fortnite just once again devoured my life.
Well, you definitely do not want to be fixing up a house when there's interplanetary or possible quantum mechanics happening. So, like
you could just lose your investment. Yeah. You don't know what's going to happen. That house could just be gone.
That's pretty cool, though. I cannot think of another game. Well,
very few. I've got an example, but like very few have done like these big like events where you as like a community come together, like watch it online, right?
I think that a lot of times there are events like this, but it's almost always circulated around a holiday or something like that,
Hmm.
right? Like you can
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
participate, you can wear costumes together, you can do this type of element together. I
Hmm.
don't think that there is normally a an event that doesn't have to do necessarily with your character participating, and it's
Hmm.
its own event that your character only gets to watch. I think
Yes.
that's the difference.
Yeah.
Is like I feel like a lot of MMOs do have the ability to participate in holiday,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's pretty
It
unique.
Yeah, it really was just amazing because most like places like, World of Warcraft, like besides outside the holiday events, most of like the big like game changing things take place outside of the game and like you get like a video of it or something to watch.
Mhm,
Um like a trailer, like this is crazy. The only other game I know that has done something like this is City of Heroes, where there was like a alien invasion. You watch the alien invasion come in and happen,
mhm,
and then you just react to the world after that. That's the world we live in. Uh, so this is like, pretty huge by Epic. They don't have to do stuff like this. They're making like millions and $1 million every day, and it's like they're just putting it back into the game to like keep driving hype up about this game. I was like really impressed as a gamer who's like I'm a preseason gamer. I'm sitting there like, holy crap, this is
yeah,
amazing. Like
yeah,
they got the entire thing about like the rocket right. People don't really know this, but like before a rocket gets off, there's a massive amount of ice or like coolant that's like pumped down to it, so it like kind of shells over in ice. They
mhm,
actually did that, and then like the rocket explodes and the ice falls off, and it has a trajectory, and then
mhm,
engine separation happens, and then the trajectory changes because of the engine separation, and like they got it all right, and it was
yeah,
just amazing to watch. I was sitting there, kind of, some kind of chills came up over me. I was exploring it in the replay system, and I thought the most adorable thing happened. I found because I was next to the missile because I'm wild, man. I just like to be close to the action.
mhm,
Um, Off in the distance, I actually found two characters that had built themselves like a little platform on a mountain to watch it.
uh-huh.
And it was a female and a male character. And I was like, that's just, a couple of dudes hanging out. I actually seen the male character throw up like a love emote where like there was a heart that his character threw. It was like the
Oh
most touching,
my
like
gosh!
I was like, oh,
Oh my gosh, if only someone loved me that much.
I
That's
wish I had
great
someone
though.
that could like, take me on an online date and watch a
Yeah,
rocket go off in the air.
yeah, no
Mm.
kidding. Bonus points to whoever that was.
Yeah, definitely. Uh, Let me ask you something though. I got a question to start the old podcast off this
Yeah.
week.
Alright.
All right. So I've been thinking about this a lot lately. We're getting a little older. I'm
Okay,
a
well, that's rude.
no, I'm a solid 31-year-old. You're a, magnificent 22-year-old gamer still in your prime.
Okay, uh-huh.
Uh there's always that question of like what would the younger self think about your older self, right?
Right.
And so it got me thinking like with gaming, what were you playing when you were younger at like different intervals in your life? Like what were you playing when like you were 5 years old, when you were 15-year-old, and like when you were a 25-year-old, or I guess for you, your future 25-year-old self. What do you think you're gonna be playing?
That's bull crap.
What? No.
Alright, alright, so we're what's the setup here? What's the scenario?
All right. You like walk in and there's like different you walk into like an apartment or something, right?
Okay.
And there's like this is, again, quantum mechanics are at play here. There's
Yes.
wormholes, time loops. There's a 5-year-old Monica, a 15-year-old Monica, and a 25-year-old Monica all
Oh,
hanging
no.
out.
Okay.
You walk in, they're all looking at you. What
Mhm.
games are they at? What are they playing? What do they got in their hands?
Um, Jeez. Alright, so I feel like this is an uncomfortable situation for one. I'm walking in onto my 5, my 15, and my 25-year-old self,
Mhm.
and, I don't think anyone's really getting along very well. I'm
Right.
gonna put that out there.
Okay.
I think my 5-year-old self is probably playing Super Mario World.
Mhm.
That would have been, like, 1990. I'm really bad at it, but very excited by the game.
Okay.
Um, I am really willing to ask my mom for help. My brother is playing with me. Like I'm just like having a blast, right?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
15-year-old self is a little bit like still welcoming. Like I think 15-year-old me is welcoming to 5-year-old me. Um, but I'm not playing Super Mario World. Like I'm trying to play different games. I don't even know what was I don't even know what was out, and that would have been in 2000. I know that there was one game that came out called Dark Cloud. I've I've actually I
Ooh,
bitched
yeah.
about that game on this podcast before.
Mhm.
And I bet you 5-year-old me would have been like, this game's fun. And 15-year-old me would have been like, oh my God, what's wrong with this little kid? And I would have let it play. But 25-year-old me, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Um, Aggressive, really has a lot of opinions on video games, is very actively playing video games. Uh, I think God of War 3 was out when I was 25, which that's not like a competitive game by any means, but God forbid I knew the ins and outs of that game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, and I feel like 25-year-old me would not want to deal with 15 or 5-year-old me. Like if this is the apartment that I'm walking into,
Mhm.
it's 25-year-old me. I've got the controller. I'm holding it over my head. I am playing some game that came out that year. It could even be God of War 3. And I am not letting anyone else take turns. I'm like,
25-year-old Monica's a dick.
I really was. I did not want to share. Like, it wasn't going to happen. I knew what I wanted, I knew what I liked, and anyone else was just getting in my way, you know?
Yeah, uh-huh, absolutely. Um, so you're you now. Which version of Monica do you think you like the most as an adult?
Hmm. That's tough. Um, Definitely not 5-year-old me. I don't even know what 5-year-old me was like, to be honest with you. I guess probably when I look back, I think 15-year-old me was probably the sweetest and the most misunderstood. And then by the time I got to like 25-year-old me, I was just like, I know how to deal with this cruel world. I can deal with this myself. Ugh, I'm not gonna share the controller. Um,
I love that you
so
embody Thanos when you're 25 years old.
yeah, yeah. So I think me and 15-year-old me and current me would get along the best. What about you? I mean, I feel like I'm on in the spotlight here. What
Okay.
was your experience like?
When I was 5, the big standout, and I think I was 5, it could have been 6, but, we're bending time here. There was this game called Chameleon Kid, or Kid Chameleon. Kid Chameleon was the way it was called, and it's the first time I fell in love with, like, video games. It wasn't just something I was, like, playing, it was something that, like, challenged me, uh, and, like, really drew, like, an emotion out of me. It was like, "I gotta keep playing this," and by emotion, I probably mean addiction. Uh
Did you have your parents help you?
No, 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 no.
Oh,
When I was playing video
me
games,
either.
I my dad wanted to help me. He was sitting there like, "Man, this could be a really big good bonding moment." I was like, "No, sir, it's not going to be. Please just leave me alone in my room." Kick a Million was a video game. It was like an action platformer, where you had to use different helmets that would change your character and his abilities. So you would walk around and like there'd be a ninja hat. So you put on like the ninja hat, and all of a sudden you could do like shooting stars. You could hang on walls. You'd walk around and there'd be like a knight hat. You put that on. Now you have a sword and a shield. You're more defensive. So there's tons of those. And like the 5-year-old me just got completely addicted to this game. Which I did have to share with my brothers because we're all the same age, and we kind of we didn't have multiple consoles. We're just a middle class, probably lower middle class. So we all like fought over Kid Chameleon, and
Okay.
that game like still stands out to me.
Yeah.
50-year-old me, uh that there was a signs of full-blown addiction because that's when World of Warcraft was going on when I was 15.
Okay.
I got so addicted to World of Warcraft, it blows me away how I finish anything in my life because I would go to school, come home, sit down, play World of Warcraft until like 5 o'clock in the morning. I would play for 10 hours straight, get an hour or two of sleep, get up and go to school, and then like do it all over again. Um,
I
I
was
was
doing something similar, but not with video games. I was doing like
drugs.
online role playing. Yeah,
Uh,
no, no, not drugs. I was doing online text-based role playing.
yes, I remember the story from you. Or
Yes, so
yeah, yeah.
similar, but not video games. It was gaming related, but not video game related.
Right, right, right. So 15-year-old full disclosure, I didn't get late in high school, probably because of World of Warcraft, um, and not because of my charming disposition.
Yeah.
Uh, and then when I was 25, man, I put down the MMOs and picked up the MOBAs. League of Legends, I'm pretty sure it cost me a relationship when I was 25. I played League of Legends nonstop. I'm a pretty calm video game player now. Back then, it was like
Oh,
full blown
no.
rage. I would lose. We talked about toxic gaming communities last week. I was the toxicity. I would blow up at people in the game. I was not a happy camper. I would brood around my house or my
What?
apartment. Oh, if I lost a game or I had a bad day, I would just brood.
Oh
I'd
my
walk around like, "I
goodness.
don't wanna talk. Anything wrong? No. It's perfect. Everything's perfect, okay? My support can't help me out in bottom lane, but fucking life's going good. Thank you."
Oh
Um,
my goodness. Okay.
so
So you definitely wanna hang out with 25-year-old yo.
Oh, yeah. He's a partier, you know? He's the guy who rages at the bar. No. 15-year-old Brian is definitely the coolest one because it's like I discovered a passion and I learned how to do it well. And, like, I can
Yeah.
relate to that as an adult, like, you're passionate about something, some people will call it addiction. We're gonna use the word passion instead because that's a positive spin on things. Like, I'm passionate for, Fortnite now. It's a passion of mine, right? It's just nonstop all the time. So me
Yeah.
and 50-year-old Brian, we connect, we relate. We're up into the wee hours playing a game that, probably takes up too much of our life, but, it's good. It's good. The colors are good, the community is great, and I don't know.
I think it's interesting that you and I would both rather hang out with 15-year-old us than 25-year-old us.
We're awful, like,
We
young
sound
adults.
awful. We both sound awful.
Yeah, we were just horrible people. I just, like, think about, like, the chick I was with at that time, like, I just wanna send her, like, a "I'm sorry" card, but, like, that will never happen because I can't admit mistakes. Yeah, 25-year-old Brian, fun to hang out with when he's not playing League of Legends.
Yeah.
Oof, yeah, no. I actually, like, I think after League of Legends is what I took a break from gaming, you know?
Mm,
Um I actually like when I moved to go finish my degree in Tallahassee, like, I stopped playing video games. Like, I think it's League of Legends that broke me for
yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But speaking of my addiction for Fortnite for that we've been talking about, it's already come up like 2 times in the podcast, so let's just, like, finish it off for a third time. In our ongoing saga of PUBG
Oh,
and Fortnite's legal drama. This is like a
mm.
daytime, like a soap opera, right?
Oh,
We
it's
have
touching.
we have finally come to a conclusion of it.
Ugh.
This is from PC Gamer. After filing against Epic Gamers last month, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds developer PUBG has now dropped its lawsuit against the creators of Fortnite, sending
What?
them a withdrawal letter to Epic's legal team. It's
Do you
done with.
think do you think that they were like, "Dear dear people we have sued, we are so sorry for suing you and making us the entire gaming community quite angry at us. We thought no one would notice because it was in South Korea, but
Mm,
it got out.
but the Backspace Nomads were onto us.
But the Backspace Nomads were on to us and they outed us to the world." Yeah, 100%. So I am a little disappointed by this. I
Oh,
don't know if I just love a good a good sitcom or a good drama. But
yeah.
I really wanted to see this through. I was just like, I can't wait for the courts. I was thinking in my mind that, well, I'm not going to have any clue what was going on in the courtroom. I was going to go ahead and draw the courtroom proceedings myself.
Ooh,
I was very, very excited about this. And I was rooting for PUBG kind of blindly because I really wanted them to just continue to think that they could get somewhere with it.
okay.
Even though it seemed their chances seemed slim to none.
Oh, you think? Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. I feel like they were losing their player base, and this was like a shot from the hip, like some corporate guys like, "Just sue them, we got no choice," and, like, they're just trying to make their CEO happy,
Yeah.
because they, like, folded on this lawsuit so freaking fast. It was like, it's been 2 weeks, I think, 2, 3 weeks maybe?
But they folded on it after it got outed. It's
I mean
been out there since January.
yeah,
Don't forget that. It
okay,
has been out there since January. It got publicized in the States for the
yeah,
last couple of weeks.
man, that does not look good. Like,
No.
I think if you're gonna sue them, you have to take it all the way. You have to lose your case in court. You can't like look like if you lose it in court, like this judge was on their side. His son plays Fortnite all day. Like you have to go all the way because now they just look even worse. Because you look dumb already, and now you just look like a loser on top of it.
Yeah, or you just look like a little tease, like tee like, oh, you thought we were gonna sue you? Well, we scared you, didn't we? Tickle tickle.
You think they're like the girlfriend who's like threatening to leave him? We'll go use another engine, okay? And then they're like, no, no, we're just joking. We're safe. This our relationship is good, right? We're good. We're good. Because
Yeah.
how do you work with them now? Because they use the engine from Epic. How do you work with them professionally after this? I don't even know what to call it. I have no idea what to call this.
I
It's
feel
beef.
like they will figure yeah, beef, you know? I think at
Yeah.
this point you have to lay it out. You have to say, "Wow, we tried to have beef with you, but now we're vegetarians." And everyone can just chill. They can like get some kebabs that don't have any meat on them and like everything will just be great.
How
Um
boring is a
it's
kebab without meat?
it's stir fry, I don't know what. But
Okay.
I do feel like the the lawsuit might have been dropped because there are so many more battle royale games picking up
Yes.
speed that could be sued, like they could keep suing everybody and it would be great. I
Oh,
don't know.
lawyers are excited.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting that they dropped it. I'm kind of disappointed just from a dramatic standpoint, but I understand. And it does seem like it's tied to the fact that it got outed and there was a lot of backlash against them.
Well, don't be too sad, Monica, because as gaming Jesus closes the door, he opens the window for us as a
Oh,
podcast. Because this week, Bethesda Studios has filed suit against Warner, claiming that Warner Brothers' Westworld mobile game is a complete and utter ripoff of Fallout Shelter. Even
what?
even citing that the reason they found out for it is because some of the bugs inside of the Westworld game are the exact bugs that are inside of Fallout Shelter.
Oh my goodness.
Apparently, the Bethesda contracted this game out to a mobile development company. Warner Brother used the same company to make the Westworld game, and it looks like a almost carbon copy. I was watching some of the video before the podcast. This game looks like Fallout Shelter, and they're right. This mobile company, they just like copy and pasted code, and I think
You
Bethesda
think that
actually
they
has
did copy it? Like, you think that
yes.
it's just a copy of code?
Yes. This is like you had like
Huh.
2 assignments in school from different classes, but they covered the same material. I'm like, "Oh, let me just copy and paste like 5 to 10 paragraphs from this paper I made over to this one." This
Okay.
is I think they have a developer who just like, "Ah, get it done, save some money." They're a mobile development company. They're not like a, you know, wonderful people who are looking for out for the best interests of gamers. No one develops on mobile unless they're scumbags.
Wait,
No, is that
you
too far?
just dropped that? You just dropped that?
Sorry, I
That's
got
like that was a total mic drop, and I'm just like, "Oh, oh," and I'm okay, right now I'm running across the stage. I'm looking around. Everyone's got their jaw like unhinged. I pick up the mic. Oh, hello, everyone. Well, let me say listen,
Sorry, I have strong feelings about mobile developers. I have
I
strong
do
feelings.
think that they can be a little bit, but do you think Warner's guilty here? I mean, they wanted to reach
Uh,
out to somebody who had made a successful platform
yes.
with Bethesda. And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? You're a big company. Why would you not want to go out and reach out to the best of the best?
Okay, I'll agree with that. But there's no one who's sitting at Warner who like looked at it and were like, I don't know. You guys don't think this looks a little close? You don't think we're a little too close on this one?
I think you know what?
Warner doesn't
You know
belong
what,
in video
Brian?
games. What are they
You know
doing?
what, Brian? I'm
What
gonna
up?
I'm gonna say I'm surprised by you because when it was Fortnite and PUBG, you were like, there is no copying. It's just a
Hey.
concept. And you're like, this is an exact copy.
Oh, what game was like Fallout Shelter before Fallout Shelter was made? Okay, they're like they took like the XCOM concept, the mini game inside of XCOM, and made it into a big mobile game. All right,
Okay.
this is a completely different case. Don't try and like get on to me about this.
I'll
Don't
get
try
on
and
to
call me
you.
a flip flopper. All right, I am a steadfast believer in having good development inside of genres to expand the genre. This didn't expand the genre. Fortnite did. All this did was take the same game, slap a new coat of paint on it, and try and resell it to a family who's just starting out. Okay? This is
All right.
not a good game. This is not a good standards and practices, and Warner should be held to task.
All right. Well, I just don't think that Warner's intention. I think that they definitely intended to
Mhm.
capitalize on the success of Fallout Shelter, but I don't think that the idea of Fallout Shelter is unique in and of itself. I mean, maybe on mobile it was somewhat, but you've got a ton of other PC games that have that type of like build up a community dynamic and
Mhm.
send out.
Mhm.
Like that's not an authentic new experience.
Okay.
And I will say that I think that you understand a little bit more of the Westworld game than I do. But unless it is an exact copy,
Oh,
I feel like you're doing a little flippy floppy.
I don't know who you are anymore. If you think that this is me flipping floppity on this thing, that's a legal term. All right, don't mess with me.
I will
I'll send you
not
the law.
flippity floppity.
No, I think Fallout Shelter is within a genre. I think they innovated on the genre, brought it to mobile devices. This video I saw, the characters look literally like they were the like 2D characters in a 3D world that they just kind of edited the way the files looked a little bit. This mobile developer didn't look like they did the work. It looks like they got paid for work from Bethesda, and then they just adjusted it to save money for Warner. And this is not maybe Warner's fault, but they are the ones who got the name on it. They're the big title. They're the publisher. They put it out there, and so they are the ones to blame. And maybe Warner can, sue this little tiny scumbag of a development house afterwards. That's up to them. They should. But I don't know. I think Bethesda here and my boy Tom just have a case, and I can't wait to see him in court because I saw Todd at E3, and if he walks into a courtroom with that attitude, Warner's not getting it. They're not getting anywhere on Todd.
Okay.
All right.
I feel you're very ferocious. I also feel like I feel like you should be one of the defending, like you should be in the courtroom.
Like a lawyer?
Can we send you?
I
No.
mean,
I
I can
think
get in there.
I don't think you can be a lawyer because you don't have a
Why
degree in
not?
law. You don't have a
Oh,
degree in law.
yet?
But I do think that we could send you in and you could just be sitting in the back rows, more like a Judge Judy type of like watching the courtroom proceedings,
Gotcha.
and you can scream a couple of things out until you get kicked out of the courtroom.
Like a hype man almost for
Yes,
Bethesda.
like a hype
Ah,
man.
this is
Yes.
exciting for me. I've been watching a lot of Goliath on Amazon. It's a courtroom thing.
Okay.
I'm geared up. I'm teed up for this.
All right. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So we need to figure out where this is going to go down and see if we can send you.
Maryland.
Oh, that
I've done
actually
the
might be
research, all right?
possible. That might be possible. We might be able to send you to that.
I've been going to Baltimore a lot. I just have to kind of scoot a little bit over. All right, let's move on. So do you know that Google is making a video game console, Monica?
I did know that.
Oh,
Ugh.
well, you don't like my segues?
I did. No, it was a good segue. I'm just
All
sad
right.
about it.
Well, Google has decided to throw its hat in the ring for video game console development. They are rumored to be creating a console to rival Xbox, PlayStation, and I guess the Switch, but most articles forget about the Switch, which is really just a slap in the face to Nintendo. Codename Yeti. This is supposed to be a stream-based console, similar to what I think Valve was trying to do a while ago, where you can buy this console, um, and then most of the computing power is done through the internet and not on the actual console. So you have a cheaper device, a lighter device, something that people who maybe can't afford a $300 console could afford a $100 Google device.
Mhm.
Google has been rapidly hiring people from the industry to do marketing, engineering on this. It all points to that this is actually going to be a thing, and I think that Google's actually going to destroy the video game industry, Monica.
Do you?
I
You
do.
think that?
Mhm.
Well, let me ask you this, Brian.
Okay.
The glasses that are on your face right now, are those
Yes.
Google are those Google Glass?
No, they're not Google Glass. What's Google
Oh,
Glass?
oh, well, I'm just saying that there was plenty of elements that they've tried to jump into that they
Mm,
have failed miserably. But I will agree with you that if they get any type of share on the video game just industry, there is
mhm.
a very good chance that they will ruin it because they're ruiners.
They are ruiners. Uh, Let me get some reasons on why you think Google is gonna ruin video games.
First off, there was a little acquisition a while ago
Ooh,
between
nice word.
Google and YouTube. Um, and all of a sudden, anytime I go on YouTube, if I want to write any comments, it's using my full name, which is very uncomfortable. Um, because for some godforsaken reason, I got synced up into Google Plus, which is like a Facebook wannabe that no one wants to use. Google, leave me alone. Granted, I am using all of their. So here's no joke. I'm gonna end up being a Google gamer, and I'm not even
Ooh,
gonna freaking
I like
know
the way
it.
that sounds. That's a good
But
ring.
I'm not even gonna know that I'm Google gaming. I am not even gonna know it. I'm on Google Plus. I probably have like 2,000 friends on Google Plus and don't realize it. I am on you every time I'm on YouTube. It's like actually me on YouTube. I'm like, oh, what's going on? I'm just hanging out on YouTube. Oh, whoops, on accident. This is related to my Google account. Like they're gonna slide it in there, and all of a sudden, I'm gonna be playing video games, and I'd be like, "Oh shit, I'm playing a video game! I didn't even realize it." They
Yeah, that's
they are they are the person in the bar that roofies your drink, and you have no clue what's going
you're
on.
slanderous. You're gonna get us in trouble,
You know
okay?
what? Google, I'm putting it out there. You guys just roofie everything and no one understands what's happening. You make it so freaking confusing. The next thing I know, I'm going to be playing a game and it's going to be like, do you want to continue to play on Google? And I'm just going to say yes because I want to continue to play the game I'm playing.
Mark, you're such a Google gamer. I love that about you. You know that?
God damn it. Yes, I do. Yes, 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 yes. Let me keep playing.
Uh, you're right though. Google is like when they get into anything, they try to infect and like cross pollinate everything they do together. So you're just part of the Google platform, whether you want to be or not, right? Xbox has Mixer. Get ready because this Google device, YouTube will no longer be for streaming video games unless you're streaming on the Google device. 100%. You want to be a
Yep.
YouTube streamer? It's going to be on the Google Yeti or Roof or whatever they're going to call it. I'm not sure. They have a whole alphabet
The
thing. I
Google roofie.
I thought that's what they're called. I heard you said it, right?
Yeah, I mean, they were calling it Yeti, but I'm pretty sure they changed the name to Google Roofie.
Mm. Um, and let's be real, Google is like the most non-cool tech industry thing out there. Like Apple's cool, Android's out there looking like the wow man, like Samsung and stuff. Like they always have like the hip tech stuff. Um, Google, like Apple has like the yuppies. What's Google have? Google has like the moms. I have a Google Home because I thought, man, this might be kind of cool. I get it. It looks like it's just made for like Martha Stewart and her interior direct decorating dream. The thing looks awful. It's got some weird mesh on top of it. It never listens to me right. I try and talk to it. I get right up to it. I say thank you afterwards, and it's just like ignores me. I hate it. Google Home is disgusting. And this is what's going to happen in the gaming industry. Google is like the station wagon of the uh tech industry, and that's what they're going to do to gaming. You know, Sony's going to be cool, Xbox is going to be rad, Nintendo Switch is going to be off in the corner doing whatever weird stuff they do, and then there's like going to be Google showing up with like with the minivan, like, hey kids, I got sodas for everybody. You want some? You want some pops? Like, it's not going to be good.
Well, and what's weird is they're able to just slide in there so easily too. You know, it's already such a. I mean, it's kind of horrifying between Amazon and Google how much of what we do online is owned by either or. You know,
Yeah.
and Google was interested or was looking into purchasing Twitch before Amazon was. Both are making a play at the gaming industry just because it's such a lucrative industry.
Hmm.
And you know, Google it is in and of itself like, you know, we already don't have a lot of options as gamers. We
Hmm.
really don't. We really don't. We all gamer. I feel like a predominant number of gamers are like, you know, net neutrality and like Comcast and whatever. But in reality, we're picking from like three different options as far as gaming goes. And
Yeah.
now we're putting Google in the mix, and Google's just a disaster. They want to own everything, you know. So we're looking at a monopoly as well. And when
Hmm.
I think of monopolies, I think of like, you know, you accidentally buy into these things. You don't really realize it. Everything that you're touching, like Google's the perfect monopoly because everything that you're touching ends up being somehow being owned by them. You're not even
Yes.
fully aware of it. They would be very smart. It's not shocking that they're not saying, "Oh, our project's called Google Gaming and it's called Yeti." Of course they're not going to own it because they don't want you to realize that they are owning it. They're going to
Mm.
slide it in and you're not going to understand. It's going to be very confusing. And then the next thing you know, you're being force fed Google Games. And you are
Mhm.
just a Google gamer. You are going to be a Google gamer whether you like it or not.
But just wait, Monica. You want to play these games online? Sign up for Google Fiber, and we'll give you these video games even faster.
Sign up for Google Fiber, or you
Ooh.
know what, you want to go ahead, you're using Google, you're using Chrome.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
well, don't worry. You can play the game that you want to play on a tab. That sounds cool. It sounds cool. Like, oh wow, I want to play you know, the next God of War on a Google Chrome tab. What? I can do that? That's insane.
yeah.
But there is a cost to this
You're right.
because when you are owned by one organization, you have to eat anything that they feed you.
Yes. So what you're trying to tell me is you still want to use Internet Explorer for your video games.
Yes.
I understand. I
Guys,
get it.
everyone needs to use Internet Explorer ASAP. No, what
Yes.
I'm trying to say is that it is you are going to be owned by one person. I will say in my life, if there is one person that I cannot say no to, it is my grandmother
Why?
because she's just so sweet and smart and and
Ah.
snappy, you know? And man, that my grandmother, she will make me a plate of deviled eggs and I won't be hungry. But when she asks me the second time if I want to eat them, I'll eat all 12 of them. I will put those deviled eggs in my mouth and I will chew and I will frown and I will continue to eat because my grandmother is a monopoly over my emotions and Google is going to be a monopoly over my gaming.
Your Google grandma's the best.
My
Seriously, I
Google
haven't met her
grandma.
yet, but
She's my GG, my Google grandma. Oh no.
all right. We're gonna go to break, and when we come back, we're gonna be talking about gaming companies and what games that we want them to actually cover. We'll be right back, Nomads. Thank you for sitting through that break, Nomads. Come back from the break. We're going to be talking about a kind of interesting topic that I really dig the idea of. If video game companies were to cover other video game series like the industry music does songs, what would you like to see? So, Monica, what video game company do you want to cover a game series
I
of?
need you to paint this for a picture for me.
Okay.
What are some
Okay.
of the song covers that you like the most?
Okay. There is Sunday Morning Coming Down by oh, I forget the author's name, but Sunday Morning Coming Down is this old like country classic
Okay.
that is about like just being hungover on a Sunday morning, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's a famous song that everyone like fell in love with, and then Johnny Cash covered this song.
Dude, I was
Yes.
gonna say "Hurt" by Johnny
Ooh,
Cash. It's a great cover too.
dude, you do not want Johnny Cash to touch your song because he owns any song that he sings. Uh,
Yeah.
there was something about Johnny Cash's voice in this song that just kind of captured the, I guess, roll of the fuck up better than the original singer's voice could. Like Johnny Cash has that like raspiness,
Yeah.
you know. You can envision someone on the side of the street singing the song when Johnny's singing it, right? Um,
Yes.
so like the song "Hurt," I remember that song thinking how incredible it was.
Yeah, yeah, and then I listened to the original and I was like, "Ugh,
Yeah.
gross."
So that's what I'm talking about. Like, what gaming company do you think um could not do it better, but if they did it, they could fully make it like their own, and people would almost forget that, like, the original gaming company made the series.
Yeah. Okay. So I feel like, Telltale Games
Hmm.
is a very, thoughtful and, progressive development house, and I feel like one of the most beloved franchises ever is Zelda.
Mm. Mm.
But Zelda tends to follow a very similar format,
Yes.
and you don't really get to dive into the main protagonist Link's thought processes or decision making. You
Hmm.
know, you are Link. Um, and it's always a touching story, but it doesn't really dive into the emotional aspects of it. It's just interesting to me because the more I thought about Zelda, I was like, man, Zelda makes you feel emotions,
Hmm.
and they do such a great job with it. But I just feel like an episodic version of a Zelda franchise would be really, really interesting. And Telltale Games, who has done, a handful of amazing from Game of Thrones.
Hmm.
What are some of the other ones? I'm
The
like
Wolf Among Us. They did The
Wolf
Walking
Among Us was
Dead.
amazing. Walking
Hmm.
Dead also. Walking Dead was the best one in the series, actually. If
Yeah.
I or out of the games that they've put out,
I
if I
can't
had to
believe how
say,
much Telltale's done now. Like, it just started rattling off, and they've done like a Minecraft one,
they
Borderlands,
really have.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, they're all over this.
They are, but Zelda, I feel like could. I don't even know what that would look like.
Right,
That's why I'm
right.
so.
Do you think Link would actually have like talking things, or he'd just be like, oh, it's like voice options, like, yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
no, I think that he would have to,
Hmm.
and I think that that would be in and of itself. If they did it right, I think that would be like amazing.
Right.
Um,
I think you got like a amazing game there. I think you might have actually won this conversation already, dropping Telltale and Zelda. How dare you sandbag me on the first question like this? I got a follow up
oh
though.
yeah. All right. All right. Okay. Go,
All
boy.
right.
What you got?
Mine. Whenever you say the word "boy," it's the funniest thing in the world. I don't know what it is about the way you do it. um, I think Rockstar taking a swing at Super Mario Brothers would be the funnest game you've ever played inside of the Mario world
Oh no.
ever. When I play Mario games, they seem so huge, right? In the world and all these like different areas. There's so many cool little like design features, and you just never really get to explore them, right? I want Rockstar to take this series into the open world. Take us to a place we've never been before. Now you can run around the Mushroom Kingdom, right? You
I
can
don't know.
ride.
That seems dangerous if
It
Rockstar
is
is making
dangerous.
it.
This is the Mushroom Kingdom. It's time to stop fucking around, okay? Bowser's here. You can go over there and you can like knock people off their Yoshis, steal their Yoshis, right? You can. You can pimp Toad out. Get yourself some more coins. You're gonna be hitting all these boxes up all the time. Paching, paching, coins are going off
Oh, no.
everywhere.
Paching,
This is gonna be a
paching.
great series.
No.
You get to call up your brother Luigi. Like, look, I got this problem, Bowser. I'm gonna come pick you up in 5, okay? Now you gotta take your Yoshi throughout the Mushroom Kingdom to find Luigi. You pick him up. Now you're going to fight Bowser. It's gonna be an amazing series.
The Goombas are like an entire like ring.
Oh, they're gangland.
They are
Ah.
giggling. Yeah.
I would love to like crush the Goomba gang. Like, why can't we get this done? I like, I think Nintendo's starting to loosen the belt a little bit. They just had Mario versus Rabbit, where they let Ubisoft take
Yeah,
control of it.
you're going from 5 to 5,000 or 5 to 9,000. You know what I
I don't
mean? Like,
pussyfoot around. I jump in 2 feet first,
I
down in the deep end.
understand.
All right,
Hey,
this
you're
is
making
footloose time.
hand. All right. So I guess my thoughts on anything Nintendo or Mario related would be a lot less aggressive.
Okay,
Not that I don't like your bravado and your like, assertiveness as far as putting Mario and his frolicky friends into a desperate land of sin and crime, but I I feel like looking at different games that Nintendo has done. There's one, and we this is kind of flowing from our previous podcast where we were talking about Peach making like kind of a she started to take it on. We talked about like how in Mario vs. Rabbids she started being a little bit more aggressive. She's a fighter.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I found out that this is not the first time Peach has taken matters into her own hands.
Ooh,
There was a game out there called Super Princess Peach. Uh, Lots
I've
of
never
people
heard
don't
of it.
remember this because no one cared about it, including a lot of the people that talk about how um, you know games are not for women, or that Peach is just a damsel in distress. But at one
Sure.
point, Peach had to go save Mario, Luigi, and friends because Bowser captured them, put him in his Rockstar BDSM dungeon, and Peach had to go out and save the day. All right. Now, what I think was missing from that entire storyline
Uh huh.
was the fact that it was created by Nintendo.
Okay.
Because it was probably fun, innocent. I didn't play the game, but I do think that Ninja Theory, which was just recently acquired by Microsoft,
Okay.
Ninja Theory made Senwa's Sacrifice, or Hellblade, and it is one
Oh,
of
okay.
the strongest, most powerful games I have played. I'm even talking about it. I'm getting goosebumps.
I
Okay,
can see them.
they turned. Yeah, well, it's because my arm hair is really long, but they turned this woman into this powerhouse of emotion and physical as well as emotional strength. And I feel like if Ninja Theory took on Super Princess Peach, they could turn her into someone that was truly capitalizing on her feminine
Mm-hmm.
side,
Ooh.
as well as her need to have an impact on Mario's life.
Oh, you just if that's like an elevator reading, you just sold me. I'm making that game. I'm giving you like $2 million minimum to go make that
Thank
game.
you very much. I'm gonna go make it, but I have to go buy
That's
the.
amazing.
I gotta go buy the company from Microsoft first. I
What
feel
kind
like
of
they.
weapon is Peach using?
I think she's probably using not only her own core strength because she's doing lots of Pilates, um, but also I would like to see Peach with you know, maybe a brick.
A brick?
Yeah, she's beating everyone up. Why are you laughing at that? She's
What?
putting
I don't
a
know where the brick comes from.
She's just putting a brick in everyone's face and just beating them up. What's going on?
No, Peach is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, she is. Right?
All right. Mine would be for the next one. I want Dice to remake Pokemon, and go with me on this. All right, this is a bit of a stretch,
All
but I
right. All
swear it's
right.
gonna be good. The Battlefield series is probably one of the best gaming series around in terms of how the engine works, how the lighting works, how the destruction is. I'm tired of these Pokemon existing in a world that isn't destructible. This is craziness. These Pokemon have massive abilities that can alter the shape of the landscape. And I want DICE to go in there and give them the ability to just knock trees and buildings and mountains to the ground. I want these Pokemon battles to be amazing.
Okay.
I want them to like be dangerous. Yeah, you're just a Pokemon trainer, but you have a massive 19-foot like rock snake that's going to do some damage to the world around you. All right. It's just look, Diglett is just poking holes in the ground all over the place. You are compromising the structure of the land that you're standing on. And I think the DICE and their engine, they can make this feel real, impactful, and I think it gives us the most meaningful Pokemon game we've ever played because the stakes are real. You know, it's time to get serious with this Pokemon franchise. We're adults now. I was playing this thing when I was a young man. This could have been like the 8-year-old Brian. He was playing Pokemon Red and Green or whatever, Blue. It's time to bring this into like us being adults now. All right. I
Well,
want Mew
speaking of us
to
being
ruin
adults,
worlds.
I'm just thinking about Diglett being able to like help perforate a lawn so that the grass can get more
Oh,
oxygen, you know? Like
dude.
if we're going
Perfect.
to talk about I mean, I don't want to take away from Dice recreating, but like when
Mhm.
you started talking about Diglett impacting the landscape, I was like, man, I remember having to go out there and percolate the lawn myself.
Yeah, no, you get yourself a Diglett. He'll
Yeah, a
percolate
Diglett.
that whole
Wow,
lawn.
you're right. You're onto something there.
Thank you. Thank you. What's the next one for you?
So I think that this is probably it might be my farthest fetched one, but Naughty Dog. Okay,
All right.
Naughty Dog has done The Last of Us, Uncharted games,
Haven't heard of them.
really atmospheric um, games with a lot of storyline. And one game that I feel like has very little storyline, and as far as atmosphere goes, it's a little blocky. Is
Yeah.
Minecraft. Okay. And I know Telltale has already done something with Minecraft, but God, let me just say that Telltale is not, Telltale needs to touch Zelda. Somebody else needs to touch Minecraft because Minecraft as a whole needs some help. Okay.
It does.
It exists within its own realm and it's fun and people enjoy it and you can sink multiple hours into it, but it
Mhm.
needs something better. And I think that out of all the attempts to bring Minecraft into different even even battle royale, which was mildly successful. I mean, it was successful within Minecraft, but like
Mhm.
I feel like Naughty Dog can do it, you know?
You They're gonna put some emotion into Minecraft. You're gonna care about your blocks. Every brick that you put down is gonna have meaning, and that you're gonna be thinking about like that brick's gonna be there for 100 years, right?
Yeah.
Like I should probably build it a little bit better than I'm doing right now.
Right, right. You know, you're going on a an epic. You know,
Ooh,
you're not just
love that
digging
word.
into the ground and maybe hitting somebody with a weird little sword, you know. That matters suddenly. You have a story to tell, okay?
Yes. Yeah. I agree with you. That's actually a good choice. I think like Naughty Dog would make Minecraft the most successful version because anything Naughty Dog touches, it's like golden now.
It
I don't
is. They're
amazing.
great. They are a great house. So
My last one I would bring, I want Bethesda and their lawyers to remake The Division from Ubisoft.
what?
I have a long history on this podcast with The Division.
You
Uh,
do?
it's one of my favorite games I've ever played that just went terribly, terribly wrong.
Yeah.
Um, and I think the most exciting thing to me about The Division is the story within it that's trying to tell. But this problem with The Division is that the story is almost like surface level. You
Yeah.
know, you see New York destroyed, and there's some like hints of a story there. They like this event happened. Go save this person, save that person. This is a doctor. It's all very like surface level. You don't get to care about the NPCs. What
Yeah.
Bethesda does is get you to care about every character in their game. Every character has a story. Every cart that's flipped over on the side of the world of the road is like potentially has a letter and a story about why that cart got flipped over.
Yeah.
Bethesda taken that into like a post-apocalyptic New York, like a modern one, not like a nuke went off, whatever, but where they could really make a meaningful story. I think they would have an amazing, amazing time developing that game, and I would love to just live in it. Like Bethesda does such a good job at telling deep stories. for characters who don't think matter, and that's what a game like The Division really needs.
I really want this to happen. So I might write a strongly worded letter because I do know that you have had a long history with the division on this podcast. You have a lot of feelings about it, and
Dude,
as your co-host, I want dreams to happen for you. So, you know,
that's the nicest thing someone's ever said to me.
I want dreams to happen for you. Uh, but I can see that, and I think you deserve the division that you believe in, you know?
You know, that's the nicest thing someone has ever said to me.
Wow. Just one up in myself within seconds.
I don't know. I think it would be amazing. I think like these things are all over. I would love to hear from our nomads out there, our community, about what like games they want covered because I think this topic is like one of the favorite things I've ever stumbled upon.
Mhm.
Because there are so many good game development companies out there that just live inside like their own little bubble. And they don't have opportunities to explore different stories that they don't because they didn't get to develop it. You know?
One thing that's interesting too is that we talked about taking a lot of games and making them more story driven. I would love
Yeah.
for like our listeners, like if, it would be interesting if any of our listeners have story driven games that they want the story stripped out
Mm.
to see who would be able to encompass that concept the best for them. Um, so yeah, if you guys have any ideas, feel free to write us.
Send us emails, backspacenomads@gmail.com. Drop it in the comment section below on YouTube or on our Twitter at Backspace Nomads. That's going to do it for episode 64 of the Backspace Nomads. We'll be back next week with episode 65. See you guys then.